Attack is a massive false flag operation designed to take away your liberties. We've been warning for months that this was coming. I spoke to an inside source today that said these drones are 100% man-made. 100% man-made using advanced aerospace technologies, of course, that we're not privy to at the moment. So these are not aliens. These are 100% man-made technologies. That's all part of an operation. You want to call it Project Bluebeam. You can call it whatever you want. It's all part of an operation to put us into a panic mode and force new restrictions on civil liberties. First to panic us, then have the U.S. military interact with these, be shot down, have craft be attacked, and then new restrictions on civil liberties in the United States. Last night, NASA, for instance, cut short a live feed when an orb or a craft entered the shot, and then they turned off the feed from space. Watch this. So you can see here on the top part of your screen, watch as this craft comes into the shot. There it is. Similar looking orbs, almost the exact same thing that we've been seeing all over the United States. This comes into the shot, and then just a few seconds later, about 20 seconds later, NASA cuts the feed off and stops live streaming. Stops live streaming this from the International Space Station. So again, these things are happening all over the place right now. Passengers on board this flight from Chicago to Newark spotted 3 of these exact same orbs right out the window, hovering right off. I mean, you imagine if you're flying, not 3 of them, sorry, like 4 of them, 5 of them, 6 of them, all right there, just like tracking and following the plane. Wouldn't you crap your pants? Like, now that's being seen everywhere. I had my best friend, Andy, I spoke to him last night in Reading, Pennsylvania. His wife, on her way home from work, captured 3 of them on camera. Like, this is happening all over the place and so commonplace now. So the next step will be to shoot these things down. Now, I spoke last year, 1 year ago, I spoke to the man who worked at the FBI, who was in charge of their X-Files program. They didn't call it the X-Files, but it was the inspiration for what would become the X-Files and Fox Mulder. He's basically like Fox Mulder. That's John D'Souza, who worked at the FBI. 1 year ago on this show, he told me that a fake alien invasion is the next step. This is what they're going to do. And it's at the time, like, you should read the comments. People are like, are you crazy? Fake alien invasion. We're going to see lots of craft all over the United States. Really? That's about to happen? Yeah. Now it's here. So how crazy does that sound? But he laid out, in fact, he's been talking about this for a long time. And he said what's going to happen is that they are going to start interacting with military craft. That's the next step. Military craft interacting with these. And then you're going to have military craft getting shot down. This is all part of the plan. So listen to what he had to say about this. This is just a snippet. I encourage you to watch the full interview, but here's just a snippet. What do they want in this situation where they would want to start taking down aircraft? What do you know from your experience in the FBI that this deep state, what do they want?
The end goal is, and this is a long-term psychological operation, as well as physical operation as well. The long-term goal is ultimately to put together this grand operation called fake alien invasion. Now, the only fake part about it is going to be that the alien visitors are involved with this. They're not at all. Everything else is going to be real. The destruction that they bring to our cities is going to be real.
So
what?
That was a year ago.
That's wild.
That was a year ago.
I do remember that.
I mean, John, of course, has been vilified by, they go after him because he's an FBI whistleblower. I mean, he left the FBI and he's been basically, educating all of us about this. But anyway, that's just a small piece of it. And
it's wild, though.
He's not the only one. So he's one of many people and sources that we've spoken to here over the past year who said that this was coming. And they gave us specific dates when they told us it was coming, and they hit those dates. So now it's here. But this is the most mind-blowing thing of all. A post on 4chan in 2022. Okay, now this has been removed. This has been covered up and censored multiple times. I'm going to read to you from this, okay? So this is, again, from 2022. The next false flag will be centered on the premise of malicious interdiction of nuclear source materials. It will not involve a nuclear device or nuclear detonation, but rather a radiological threat. Nuclear source materials will be deliberately leaked to target areas to inflict severe injuries through radiation exposure. The real number of casualties as a result of these attacks will remain very low. The purpose is to create a new method of restricting freedom of movement and new policies that will enable the government to continue its expansion of power. The media will display images of attack survivors who will have burns and lesions across their skin. Videos depicting overwhelming triage centers with victims vomiting or other unresponsive symptoms will be shared on social media. The threat of radiation exposure, an invisible enemy, will be used as the primary vector. Basically saying an application modeled after the COVID contact tracing will be installed on every mobile device that uses iOS or Android. The application will have to notify the user about potential hazardous exposures and recommend actions that they take should include voluntary exposure testing. Additionally, the cellular carriers will roll out automated SMS alerts that will have similar functionality. This application will interface directly with the UICC mobile dialing service. If the user does not have this application installed, network connectivity will be prohibited. And it goes on and on from there.
You need to shut the front door.
So
this is
from
crazy town.
2022. And then over the past few days, the threat of radiation exposure, because they can't find the damn radioactive devices that wound up in the port of Newark and in a cargo container that are empty. Radiological devices that are empty and missing now. And of course, many people, drone experts, have said that in fact they're looking for something radiological right now. That the only reason these orbs, whatever they are up at night, these man-made craft, are as a result of a radiological exposure. Take it with a grain of salt, I guess. You could throw it out the window if you want to. Why are we seeing this all now? The timing of it is absolutely perfect. 30 days before President Trump takes office. What is the purpose of it? Again, you can consult that 4chan post from 2022. It doesn't, it's up to you how you want to look at it. All of this was, though, foretold years ago, before even the 4chan post, by the way, by Billy Meyer. Many of you who are awakened enough know about the Billy Meyer case. If you're not awakened yet, you'll dig into it. You'll understand once you start diving into it. In fact, as you know, this singular authentic UFO case, 82 years old, is ignored by the media, censored, suppressed, and attacked by so-called UFO experts, as my friend Michael Horn likes to say. It's the Billy Meyer UFO contact case, he's laid all of this out in text form. It's been copyrighted material decades before it's actually happening right now. I know, sounds crazy, but you can go read about it. Read about it on theyflyblog.com. That's where you can see it. Michael Horn does a great job of cataloging all of this there. In fact, they just posted this a few days ago. These drones are not from the Pleiaren. These are human craft, posted on December 15th. Go read it for yourself, and you can look at the drone video sources, and you can also see how this was predicted decades ago, what we're currently seeing right now, this man-made, quote-unquote, fake alien invasion. Again, has nothing to do with aliens, has nothing to do with it, but it's all part of a larger plan right now. And you're starting to see all of these pieces coming together here. So what do you guys think about that? Anything?
I buy it.
Anybody?
The radioactive thing is interesting because like the medical devices. Are you familiar with I'm probably going to mispronounce it, but like the Guyana catastrophe? I think it was in the 80s where somebody had like salvaged a medical, like a radiological medical equipment. And it ended up like contaminating an entire town, or a bunch of people. Like it was just like a major nuclear catastrophe because people just kept spreading it around, not knowing what this radioactive material was. Like it doesn't take a lot to accomplish a lot as far as that's concerned. I feel like
a small amount of it.
You can look it up.
Yeah, no, a small amount of it, right? That's the major concern about this missing radiological material that was on the freaking cargo container that's now missing in New Jersey. And then you could, add that to the 2022 4chan posts, and then all of these other predictions from insiders who've been nailing these dates, specifically what was about to happen, all in an effort to lock us down, take away our civil liberties, get rid of any recreational drones, and use just commercial drones from now on. I know Alex Jones has been talking about that piece of it, which is the plan to basically get rid of all the residential drones and be able to implement that plan on that side of it. So you want to call it Project Bluebeam. I think we're pulling all these pieces together right now. But I think the good news is that we're not falling for it. Like by talking about it and getting this message out there about it, hopefully people are awake enough to know that this is all part of a plan. But Donald Trump called it out yesterday. He said they know exactly where these are from. Trump called it out. He said the Pentagon knows exactly where these are from, and they're not being honest with the American people right now. They didn't like that. So anyway, we'll be continuing on the story because it's absolutely fascinating and terrifying.